All right, I'm out here in Nashville or Cashville, like what Young Buck like to call it. So that brother's really been going through it, dealing with Foofy. Foofy, you know what I'm saying? That's how we use our magic. You ain't got to say their name or you mispronounce their name and say it how you want to. So that means their name has no reverence or any kind of power to it. Power to TV. I never seen that shit, whatever. But anyway, it has no power to it. So that's the thing about magic. When you don't say their name or you say their name differently from what it really is, then you take all power and strip them from their power. They have no power at all. So when he said Foofy, that's genius. Now he actually pulled the two diss songs down. I didn't get to hear the second one, the story of Foofy, which I heard he went into a lot of different details. But the thing is, he was able to pull it down because he still signed on to G Unit. So I encourage Young Buck to find his way and to find his way to get what he deserves and to get off this situation, because he makes great music. You know what I'm saying? I rarely listen to any really new music unless it really sounds good. And his last EP, Compulsive, was crazy. It sounded better than most people's so-called full-length albums. Every song was a banger. Even the videos he had for those songs, the songs on the album were damn near like even stronger than the singles that he chose. And that's when you know he's a very creative person, but he gets younger and younger and younger as he gets older. People forget he's been around since like 98 with the Cash Money era. You know, so like, and he's been around UGK, he's been around 8 Ball, MJG, he's been around Scarface, legends, real legends. Even Mobb Deep, when they was with G Unit, they had the stifling. But I seen a video where Young Buck, when Prodigy passed, he actually gave reverence to him and said, man, I just wanted to say I give my condolences to his family. That's a real man. A real man can step up and say, when y'all were at one point good people at one point, and because of his allegiance to G Unit and Foofy, well, we're not even going, you know what I'm saying, we're going to say Foofy, his allegiance to Foofy, well, Foofy actually set up Prodigy to be set up. That's why when 50 was like, I wish I had somebody asked him, I think it was Who Kid, or I'm not sure who it was. They asked him, who would you sign? It wasn't Who Kid, it was somebody else, some other DJ. Asked if you had to sign anybody else, he said, I would have signed Pimp C. But see, that's the same thing that Jay-Z did. Once he did that song Big Pimpin', Pimp C never wanted to do the song, as everybody knows. He never wanted to do the song. So when he never wanted to do the song, so he ended up getting on it, because it's been history. So it's happened, because he never really liked the whole situation with Jay-Z and Tupac. So it's the only one of the main reasons why he never really wanted to do it, but he ended up doing it anyway. So chaos. That's what melanin is. You hear those sirens? That's chaos. And when you break it through the matrix, and went back to the story. But Pimp C ended up dying in Las Vegas, just like Tupac, just like Prodigy too. Also, all these people, where he ended up dying. And I remember seeing that interview with 50 with Foofy, excuse me. No reference to the fucker. Foofy, he wanted to sign him, but that's the same thing that Jay-Z did. He only he got the information, and he was able to link up with his son. Once he linked up with his son, he was able to most likely get some royalties or something, because I seen pictures with Pimp C's older son. His younger son don't really fuck with the older son like that. That's where his last wife, he was with his last wife, and that's the younger son. So they don't really talk to each other. But Jay-Z is, I seen pictures with him and his older son, and they look spitting image of Pimp C's, exact image of Pimp C. So the crazy thing is, that's what Foofy, I'm going everywhere, so I'm just trying to make sure you know where I'm going. But Foofy himself, he's trying to do the same thing, because remember, the whole chaos. See that? You hear that? ambulances. It's chaos. When you're breaking through the matrix, everything starts to fall around you. I'm not even from here. I'm just visiting for a day and I'm out of here. But Fufi, what he's trying to do is the same thing that happened to Tupac, same thing that happened to Prodigy. Remember, when they were in jail, when they came out of jail, the whole thing about the whole gay thing and or whatever with Tupac, with Chino XL, he had a rap about it. And then Prodigy, they were saying like, because him and Havoc was going at it, and Havoc even was cool with Jay-Z at one point, was sending them tweets about him, and then they ended up getting back together because quiet is kept. Let's keep it real, man. So it's a contract. When you in an industry like this, the people around you gonna go against you if you expose in the industry. That's why he came out with an album. Havoc came out with an album called 13, like the 13 families, but it's not the 13 families. It's really the 12, like the 12 disciples and the one, like the dot, the black dot. The 12 disciples is around, and the zodiac is 12 zodiacs, and is you have to be all 12 pretty much. Same thing. So 13, his album was called 13, so the 13 families pretty much was using him because he was exposing them. So they're gonna go against him because Jay-Z's been jocking Prodigy his whole career. So I'm bringing it back to Young Buck. Young Buck, he's actually going through it because Fufi is actually trying to hold him to a contract, but people don't realize, or Young Buck is actually like a old entity in a body. We're old ones. If some of us are still around that are old ones, I see them, certain people. And Young Buck is like Thunderdog. Thunderdog is an old entity from the Indian mounds, and the mounds are in, guess where? Tennessee. I just left one on a border of Alabama. One of the oldest ones in the U.S. and one of the tallest, not the tallest, but one of the eldest ones that's been around since 100 BC. So, and is in Alabama's state line, and Tennessee state line. But getting back to where I was at, I don't want to lose anybody. I don't want to lose myself. Thunderdog is an entity that is intertwined with the native or the aboriginals, which is a melanated people or so-called black people, or so-called African American people. Those are just titles. We're aboriginal people. We're the original people. So Young Buck, he has that energy. That's why when he makes his music, he can make it, and he's still young. Most of these rappers that have been around since the 90s, they sound so dated. His EP, Compulsive, it sounds right on the cusp of like what everything that's new, and you can understand everything he's saying. He's not mumbling. He's using new styles. I appreciate that because he's using new styles, and the beats are dope. So he has a young energy. So I appreciate the brother for what he do, because he actually came out with some not super conscious music, but he came out with some stuff. But like Dark Clouds, when everything came against him, his back was against the wall, and he still came out strong. Still came out strong and not letting the bullshit around him get to him. So that's what I say. I encourage, and I want Young Buck to keep pushing, push the line. We train to go. Whatever come against you, we know how I go on the street. Forget what the motherfuckers around you talking about. We getting right to it. If it's a problem, let's handle it. You know what I'm saying? Like I lived in Detroit for a month and a half. He been in Detroit. He got family out there in Detroit. So I appreciate the brother. I got family in Detroit too. I was on Schoolcraft. I was on 6 Mile. I was working out there and stuff. So I understand. Like we have a connection to a degree, but we don't know each other. I had a dream about the brother years ago, like a year and a half ago, before everything even happened. And it's like, that's why I say I want the brother to make it, because the entities, they want Young Buck not to make it, or they want him to die, or they want something to happen to him because of a contract. Motherfucker can't even let him go, and Fufi can't even make any new music that sounds good. That's why he holding him. He'll use all these social media sites, but he can't make no songs because he's out of it. He's been cloned already. When he came out with that Big 10 mixtape, on his last track, he had a track that was like talking about the people that would control your mind. And remember, he had got into a car accident where something had ran into his vehicle, and then he got real sick. But he had blamed it on the movie he was doing. But no, they ended up cloning him. That's why all his tattoos got removed on his arms. He said it was for the movies. No, it didn't. But why'd you put new tattoos on your arms? Because you were cloned. You got cloned. I'm gonna keep it real, man. I don't care about none of this government shit. I've been in 7 car wrecks and walked away from them all. I've been in the traps out in ATL and all of that. It don't matter. None of that shit even matters, because they can't touch me. I have deities that fuck with me. So if the ancestors fuck with you, nothing around you can even touch you. So I just did libations at this place right here in Nashville or Cashville, Tennessee, and I'm giving I want the brother Young Buck to keep pushing, man. If you see this video, keep pushing the line. You know how to go. Man, lower you up and get what you got to get, and make sure you got to get what you got to get, and so to the point where you done with him. I know Lloyd Banks wrote for him. I know you wrote for him too, because he can't write no more because he's a clone. When you a clone, you can't really get in touch with what you had. I remember he used to, Fufi used to write for LL Cool J back in the day. He used to write for everybody back in the day. But now he can't write for himself. You know why? Because he's been cloned. If you've been cloned, they got your essence. All you are just a physical person. You don't have all your everything that you had before. So I'm gonna cut it short. It's been a long video, 11:40. It don't matter. So I'm say, hey, Buck, Young Buck, hey, I'm with you, man. I did put a curse on Fufi. You know what I'm saying? And I put a curse on T.I. I know, but he did some shit against Shouty Low. But T.I. is in the government. He fucking with the government. He's a snitch. Like, how you not go to jail for all them guns, but then you do the Crime Stopper stuff on ATL. It's on YouTube. You can check the video. The video is on YouTube. He's saying, oh, if you see somebody doing something, it was part of his whole not going to jail for a long time thing. So he had to do the Crime Stopper shit and all this other stuff. So regardless to the fact, stay away from that motherfucker, because he got Alpha Mega tripped up. Alpha Mega is not no government snitch. T.I. is a snitch, and he made it seem like Alpha Mega went against the crew, when it was actually T.I. that, how you know what I'm saying, it was actually T.I. that got, how you get silent, even just silencers, you supposed to get years for that. He didn't even do nothing. You ain't got no good lawyers like that. Nobody got good lawyers like that, not even John Gotti. That motherfucker's still in jail. Come on, man, get real, man. Motherfuckers are still in this fucking matrix. I'm tearing the matrix down. I'm entering the world. But regardless, back to the third dimension for a little bit. Young Buck, keep your head up and keep pushing. You make great music. You've been making great music, even when everybody was against you. When I was at the time, I didn't fully understand it at the time, but now I have an understanding of it, and I appreciate what you do. You do what you do, and I appreciate it. You do what you do, and you make great music. All right. Peace.